Welcome everyone to another video of Vinyl Addict. This is Chili, and on this day of rock, October 18th, 1969, the Jackson 5 makes their television debut in the Hollywood Palace on ABC. And in 1975, Paul Simon takes over SNL. It's the second episode of SNL, and pretty much it was just all him. Now, before I get into this, please just remember to hit the like button, comment on this video, and share. And if you still haven't, please subscribe to the channel. So let's get started now. So 1969, the Jackson 5 are introduced by Diana Ross on this show, the Hollywood Palace, and they sing three songs, well, somewhat like a medley at first. They do Stand by Sly and the Family Stone, which is on this album, their first album. Can You Remember, a little ballad, and then they do the famous I Want You Back, and that changed everything. And so, Diana Ross is mentioned as the person who kind of like discovered them and all this stuff, but that's pretty much just a corporation coming up with some kind of weird folklore, as a gimmick, because she was pretty popular, she was pretty famous, and it was just like, well, how are we going to get this band to be introduced by none other than someone that's really big and famous? So just have Diana Ross introduce him as if she discovered this, band in Gary, Indiana. What would she be doing there in Gary, Indiana anyway? However, that's what they wanted everyone to think. The television was always, I guess at that time, still a media where people would say, well, I saw it on TV, must be true kind of shit. Now, no one thinks like that. But nevertheless, we had this album. This is the very first one, and with those three songs are included on here, and that's the Jackson 5, and they made history this day. And 1975, this album was out, Still Crazy, after all these years, by Paul Simon, and Paul Simon was the host and entertainment and everything on SNL. It was the second episode, and the only thing that was actually comedic was Chevy Chase made a couple appearances of falling down. He was very famous for the President Ford kind of thing. That was his little routine that he would do, and he would trip and fall, and he did that between Paul Simon performances. Now, Paul Simon did have Art Garfunkel come out there, and they did a song from this album, My Little Town, and Paul did Still Crazy after all these years from this album. He didn't do 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, which was a big song from this album. He didn't do that, so, which is a shame. I like that song, but that's what happened in rock history this October 18th. Now, if you still haven't, hit the like button and comment on this video. Have you guys ever seen these performances? What are your thoughts on them? I like the Jackson 5 one. Michael Jackson and David Lee Roth are my favorite frontmen for a group. The way Michael in this video just kind of takes control, and the Jackson 5, the rest of the guys, the brothers, are just kind of in the background, and you could kind of see that, he is just working this audience, and he's just very confident for someone that young. And of course, David Lee Roth is just, ringleader, circus, ringleader, and, he took that to a different level, of being a great frontman, and those are my two favorite frontmen. And Paul Simon, great songwriter, just not really good in comedic skits, though. I think there was one little skit there they tried to work him in, and it didn't work. But if you guys see that episode, it's just mainly Paul Simon. It becomes the Paul Simon Show. So that's my video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.